I'm Mary Kay Dore, District Student Support Services Manager in Summit School District located in Frisco, Colorado. I am honored to share some of the work that we've done in Summit School District over the past few years in regard to improving instructional practices and achieving positive gains for students in literacy and learning. Summit County is a rural resort district located 70 miles west of Denver in the 10-mile range of the Rocky Mountains. Our year-round population is approximately 25,000 residents, but during high tourist season, the county's population can swell upwards of 100,000. The county has experienced growth in the past decade and an increase in diversity of our resident families. In 1995, there were 40 students whose native language was not English. In 2009, we have 864 students who speak 24 different languages. The predominant first language for these students is Spanish. Poverty has also increased. In 2000, 354 students qualified for either free or reduced lunch. In 2009, 949 students qualified for the assistance. As we experienced growth in our community and diversification, our district saw a decline in its standardized test scores. As school district officials examined new student data, they realized a need for change in some of their long-held practices. They refused to attribute lower test scores to students who didn't speak English well enough or whose parents were struggling financially. It wasn't the child's fault, it was the school's practices that needed to improve. In 2001, we formed a district instructional team, or I-team, which included the district staff in areas of literacy, ELA, gifted and talented, IB, special education, and technology to focus on students who continue to struggle academically, even with parent involvement in school support services. We were inspired to challenge our own status quo and develop a Summit County system of multi-tiered supports for students. Following several years of internal fine-tuning and cross-departmental process planning, we established a new system with 4 components we believe hold the key to improved instruction and student achievement. Number 1, using formative and summative assessment data to drive instruction and interventions. Number 2, focused collaborative time for teachers to discuss data, instruction, and students. Number 3, discrete progress monitoring of student achievement. And number 4, professional development that's linked to that identified student need. This system, called response to instruction instead of response to intervention, emphasized the importance of instruction. The team worked with the school's teachers to create a framework and mechanism for responding to student needs. Once every quarter, the staff reviewed a body of evidence on each student regarding their academics and assessed who was at grade level and who needed further conversation. The principal carved out time during the school day for grade levels of teachers to work with their building specialists for an hour a week, rotating through all grade levels, preschool through 5th grade, in a 3-week rotation cycle. During this grade level collaborative time, universal screening data was reviewed and results from formative and summative assessments. This gave the team the opportunity to look at students beyond their label and flexibly group students by need, even across grade levels. This cross-departmental approach matched the professional with the best skills for addressing each student's need. Data from benchmark assessments were critical elements of this process. Teachers learned how to use the data with confidence when discussing a student's progress with their parents. It helped parents better understand their child's literacy skills and what parents could do at home to help. Teachers used the data with their students to show their progress and buy into their learning. Literacy resource teachers also developed a document that housed all literacy data for a class that was easy to reference, as shown in Appendix A. The school shifted to a culture of problem solving. Teachers began to load their toolboxes with research-based literacy strategies and supplemental programs that address student needs through universal, targeted, and intensive levels of instruction. Student results were continually monitored, determining if progress had been sufficient and if interventions needed to be continued or altered. This collaborative time and multi-tiered system of support structure has helped the staff continue the educational practices that were effective and allowed them to let go of programs that didn't produce results. As shown in Appendix B, since RTI began at Upper Blue Elementary in 2007, the school has consistently seen results on the Colorado Reading Assessment that outpaced the district and state averages. As we continue today's discussion on literacy skills of children, I want to leave you with a few reflections based off my work in the field. First, I want to applaud you and thank you for your focus on literacy and literacy instruction. Second, I know that we need to work with teachers and preparatory programs. Teachers new to the field need to understand systems of multi-tiered support, principles of the problem-solving process, and be well-versed in the 5 components of literacy, including oral language development and its effective instruction. Third, schools need to shift to a systems way of thinking, beginning with a strong universal tier of instruction that is linked to state standards and district curriculum. Teachers need time to look at data, discuss students, and plan interventions or extensions to track their effectiveness in a continuous improvement cycle. The system must be able to discuss many competing topics. Teachers have more to complete with less time. We need to make the time they have more effective. Finally, I've also learned that just having 3-ring binders on how to do something does not change a system. Leadership that supports cultural changes and a strong instructional focus are essential for continuous improvement. With looming budget cuts in the state of Colorado, the already limited amount of time we have currently for teacher professional development and collaborative work time will become an increasingly difficult practice to support. We need to provide a setting that works for children, one for time and support to schools and districts so that they can focus on instruction, particularly in the area of literacy. We need to make changes if we're going to impact our children. And after all, isn't that our purpose? Thank you for the opportunity to share some of our successes.